And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Yes, this is more like it. Monday morning and we've come off and we are back to winning ways. Obviously beating Brentford yesterday 3-0 at Anfield. Absolutely buzzing with that after a pretty miserable week. Of course, dropping points against Luton Town, which was unforeseen. And then of course, a really poor performance midweek against Toulouse in France. But back to winning ways, a bit of an alteration from Jurgen Klopp. This is why I love Jurgen, because he does implement changes when necessary and did alter the sort of midfield slightly as well, which was really good to see. And as I said, we've got our rewards. We've got 3 points, 3 goals. But as I said, there is some standouts that I wanted to be discussing today, guys. Fans have been left jaw-dropping over his sort of involvement over the last few years. And we're also going to be going through all the sort of all the latest sort of Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. So quite a few bits and pieces to discuss in today's video. But notable absentees ahead of the game. You might have seen a fairly youthful bench as you were watching on, and obviously there was omittees from as Joe Gomez and Konate picked up some slight knocks and were ruled out for the game. It is said not to be too serious, we understand, and should be back after the international break, but obviously had to withdraw from that game due to their injuries. And as I say, Joe Gomez and Konate were out. Of course, McAllister was missing through suspension, Curtis Jones was out due to a hamstring injury, and Ryan Gravenberch was out with a knee injury. So again, a little few injuries sort of piling up, and as I said, if you could see from our bench, it was fairly youthful. As I said, a lot of the youngsters on there, and as I said, now probably the international breaks probably come at the right time for us, a little 2-week period now just to let everyone kind of come back, all the players that are returning get up to fitness levels as well. So that's really good to see. But as I said, that's the reason why those two were out of the game yesterday. Obviously on the game itself yesterday, as we stated, Liverpool putting in a very good performance. As I said, Jurgen Klopp did alter things ever so slightly as well, which was really good to see. And as I said, there was a few standout performers. Nunez obviously getting another assist, Jota scoring, that sort of front trio, and then Salah getting on the score sheet twice as well. And that's our sort of main subject of today's video, as he did bag 2 goals to reach a major milestone within English football. Tsimikas, obviously I thought he had a poor performance in the midweek on Thursday, but came back to it with 2 assists, so good for him. He was getting a lot of slack on social media, but as I said, did get 2 assists as well. And actually, if you're looking at the bench, you've seen McConnell come off as well for the sort of final 3 minutes, but if you look at some of the other players that were on the bench, very youthful. Doak, Nione, Scanlon, Chambers, all very young. Obviously Kwanzaa coming on for a little bit as well, with a little cameo, but if you were actually looking at it, Diaz being one of the senior players on the bench is simply crazy. Harvey Elliott being the second most senior, and then Kwanzaa being the third most senior, so it showed how youthful our actual bench was. But as I said, the main man, of course, rescues us. So it's honestly frightening the impact that this man is having. And as I said, it's leaving all Liverpool fans lauding him again afterwards. I come on here time and time again and sing my praises for Mo Salah, but still so underrated within sort of the world footballing stage. Outside Liverpool, we know what he's like. But outside Liverpool, I do think he's massively underrated, and the Ballon d'Or sort of rankings would state that. But yesterday, of course, his brace did take him to 200 English goals, which was absolutely frightening, absolutely unbelievable. 7 seasons so far at the football club, and with Liverpool, he's scored 198 now, 147 of those coming in the Premier League, 44 coming in European competition, 5 coming in the FA Cup, 1 coming in the League Cup, 1 coming in the Community Shield, and guess where his other 2 came from? Yes, he scored 2 goals in the Premier League for Chelsea when he first started his career there. So that takes him to 200 goals. Another huge milestone. I feel like every single time we're coming onto this channel after a Mo Salah sort of masterclass, we're talking about a record or a milestone he's breaking. I think it's probably the 6th milestone he's reached this season, but honestly, he's absolutely frightening. I mean, he's doing some serious damage for Liverpool so far this season, and I really do hope this fine form continues right to the end of the season, because he is imperative to what we're trying to achieve in this current campaign, whether that be sort of silverware and getting into the sort of Champions League spots, but more than that, actually. Of course, Salah joined, of course, Harry Chambers, John Aldridge, as a player by scoring in each of the club's opening 5 home league games of a season, but the record is now only his. By the opening, the scoring against the Bees, Salah has now scored in all of the club's first league games, scoring a total of 8 in the run. So he's in a sort of place of his own now. 6 home games on the bounce at the start of the season. Mo Salah has scored. So yeah, really, really good to see from him. And as I said, hopefully this fine form does continue going forward. Now, it was a very eventful weekend, which will make a lot of Liverpool fans, I suppose, feel a bit saddened by what happened last weekend against Luton. Obviously, the other Premier League fixtures have been concluded, and I'm going to go through the sort of table as well and see where we're sort of at with everything. But a very, very interesting Premier League match there as well. Of course, on the Saturday, Wolves did beat Tottenham Hotspur, which is very, very good for us, and I'll tell you why very soon. Arsenal did get back to winning ways as they beat Burnley 3-1. Everton beat Crystal Palace 3-2. Man United managed to scrape a 1-0 win against Luton. Then, of course, another game that we had kept our eyes on, Bournemouth beating Newcastle, or sort of chasing or threatening for a Champions League space. Brighton drew 1-1 with Sheffield United, and then West Ham beat Forest. But the main talk, of course, was yesterday's game, which was a fantastic match. Was Chelsea 4-4 with City. City don't really drop points much often, and against a sort of poor Chelsea side, or a Chelsea side that are trying to still find their feet, it was very, very helpful, which now leads us to 1 point behind the Citizens. Yes, 1 point behind. We're currently second in the league with a more superior goal difference than Arsenal. We are equal on points with them, and then Tottenham now down into 4th. But as I said, there's currently from 5th to 1st, there's only 3 points separating the 5 teams, but Manchester City stumbling, which is very, very good to see from our point of view, which just makes that Luton draw even more frustrating. 2 extra points, guys. I know it's hindsight, but 2 extra points would be top of the league. But either way, we're going to be taking on Manchester City after we come back from the international break, and a game that we'll obviously be hoping to try and win. It's going to be a tough test, of course. 12:30. Manchester City, usually when they drop points, they're always got something to bite at, and their home form is very, very good. But as I said, never say never. Hopefully we can get a win there and go to the top of the table. That would be absolutely fantastic. And something I wasn't really expecting. Look, it just makes these sort of stupid draws, the defeat against Spurs, even more annoying, because the Spurs one was out of our control, Luton was in our control, but already there you can just see 5 points that we've just kind of lost, which is super frustrating. But it is what it is, a long way to go, and there's only a point separating us with the Premier League champions at the moment, which is very good to see. But yeah, Liverpool fans, that's all I've really got for you today. Do let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section below with regards to the game, and let me know your final thoughts on Mo Salah as he reached 200 English goals. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care.